My family is no stranger to physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. So my sister, when I was in high school, she's a few years younger than me, she was in an abusive relationship. I saw parts of it, but at the time, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't really know the signs of abuse or domestic violence. I didn't know what to do. And she would tell me sometimes things that would happen. I'm like, don't let people treat you like that. And I even said to her, like, if this guy's treating you that way, you need to break up with him. And so I went with her one time to break up with him because she said she was afraid, she wanted me to be there. So I went and I was going to be there with her. But it just so happens that it was on school property, and we attempted to tell the principal at the time and the school counselor what was happening. But then they told us, no, don't do that on campus because it could get messy. So ended up not doing it that day. And then I ended up moving to Germany and spending a couple years in Germany. And shortly after I moved to Germany, it was probably within 3 months of me moving to Germany, all of this stuff came out, stuff that I wasn't aware of, stuff that my parents weren't aware of. At the time, we thought my sister was just being a little bit rebellious. She would run away from home. She would skip out. My parents would say, no, you can't go hang out with him. But then she would just get upset and she would leave anyway. And so we're like, I don't know what's going on there. But it turns out that she was in a very abusive relationship. She was sexually abused, emotionally abused, physically abused. And after it came out, then people started talking about it. And even teachers from the school would say, oh yeah, we saw him throw her down the cement stairs. We saw her beating her head, him beating her head on the cement. And people started talking. But they were so afraid to come forward during the time because they said they were afraid he was going to bring a gun to the school. And so there was a lot of fear. And so people didn't say anything, people didn't do anything, because first, they didn't really know what to do and they were afraid. And so this happened, and a couple of my other sisters also have been through abusive relationships. And so that experience had a very profound effect on my parents, on me, on my siblings, and on our lives. And that's really pushed us into the field of trying to help people work through trauma and to become aware of the signs of abuse. And so my parents opened up a school for teenagers who have experienced trauma. My sisters have become counselors. I'm a counselor myself. My father's been in the mental health industry for many, many years, even before this, and my grandfather was a counselor as well. But it seems like it's our family mission to be able to help people, help you, if you're one of those struggling with abuse or hurt from being bullied, and maybe even it's abuse from yourself. That's one of the forms of abuse I experienced, was extreme self-abuse, because I had this idea that I had to be perfect. And so anytime I would make a mistake, I would beat up on myself very harshly internally, to the point where I became hopeless, suicidal even at points, just feeling like I was a burden and there was no point for me to live because I was just screwing up all the time. And through that, have learned that, no, I'm a miracle and I have a purpose. And I'm here for you. That's why I've created Hope to Cope. That's why I write the books that I write. Everything that I do is to inspire you to recognize that you are a miracle, that you have a purpose, and give you a little bit of hope to help you cope with today. Because if you can get through today, then you can get through tomorrow. And if you can get through tomorrow, then you can get through the next day. Just take one day at a time. Over the years, my sister's gone through a lot of healing. There's been lots of mountains and valleys through the journey for her and for us as a family, for my other sisters as well, and for their families. And we're healing. Life's not perfect. We're not perfect, but we're getting better. We're getting happier. We're learning through the process, and we're attempting to serve as well. So just last night, my wife and I went and saw the movie It Ends With Us. So if you haven't had a chance to see it, I highly recommend it. They did a great job with the film to discuss this heavy topic and humanize both the perpetrator as well as the victims, the survivor, and to just show the human experience to all of it. And they just did a fantastic job, in my opinion, with it. And so I'm planning on using that for video therapy when I do that in the future. But it's a great film. It really highlights a lot of these issues that we as the human race struggle with. It's very prominent and prevalent in our lives. And so if you haven't had a chance to go see It Ends With Us, I highly recommend it. It is heavy. It's a heavy story, but with an inspiring and hopeful ending. And so if you're one that's experienced sexual, emotional, physical abuse, it could be triggering. If you haven't sought help and you're still in that phase right now, I highly recommend for you to seek help. You know, reach out to a trusted individual, a therapist, and seek help. There's lots of help available to you. And there's like the Dove Center and safe houses and things to get to. So just know that you're not alone in this, that you are worthy, that you are worth it, and that you deserve to be treated with respect, first from yourself and from those around you as well. You are lovable and you are worthy of love, true love that is respectful, kind, and compassionate. You deserve that. You are a miracle, you have a purpose. So thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for being here with me each and every day as I get to share a little bit of this time with you, as I get to see you, the greatness in you, and just remind you that you are a miracle, that you have a purpose, and there is hope. You can and will get through this. Seek help if you need, and remember, you're not alone.